On our way to have a chat with Vincent Kompany. Stick around for the interview.
How you doing? We've got an interview with Vincent Kompany at 12:30. Jordan Stewart for On The Ball. First of all, I want to say thanks for coming along. Obviously, congratulations as well for winning the league.
Yeah, thank you.
Third time. Just want to talk about when you was younger, like how do you start to love the game of football, really?
I think for me, the game, from what I remember, is when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my dad used to take me to the park, and my brother was very little at that time, but we used to go to the park and just kick a ball. Really, that's it. Because of where I grew up, it was more of a case of we need to try and get him out of the neighborhood as much as we can.
Yeah.
And the first thing they did is, at 6 years old, find a club for me to just have some physical activities, and then I fell in love with the game.
Yeah. So then, did you go into like an academy system, or was you just like playing like Sunday league up until kind of like?
No, I was playing for Anderlecht.
Okay.
From the age of 6. And I continued all the way through to the first team.
And then you made your debut at 17, right?
That's it. So it was a pretty special story, but I never really started thinking I'm going to make it this big or whatever. It was just, it was fun and learning.
So when you kind of like went to Anderlecht and you turned a pro, did you ever get like advice from like the older players on like how to be in the game or kind of like off the field stuff?
I've got to be honest, not too much. I had a few players that that really looked after me.
Yeah.
But not as much as I would have liked to. And that's one of the things now that I'm an older player that I really try to do because I felt I lacked that kind of support.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give everything I can to the young players.
And which is good because, like I said, for me, when I was growing up, I had like older players to kind of like give me advice. Whereas, like you said, if you really didn't, you was trying to like basically trying to find your own path. But in the first year, you winning the golden shoe.
Yeah, so I won Player of the Year in Belgium. I was 17. I was.
So it wasn't a bad start.
It was a great start, and I was living a dream. I was playing for the club that I played from since the age of 6. I was doing well. We won the league as well that year, and football was easy. So
you didn't feel like any kind of like pressure because of you coming in as such a young player?
No, I had pressure because I was still going to school. So whenever the other guys were resting and doing all
doing your homework,
I'd run back to school and try and finish anything I had to do. But it was good for me because it just, until today, I need to be active like this.
Yeah.
I was 17, 18 doing so much outside of football as well because I had to.
Yeah. So it gave you like a structure kind of thing.
And it kind of gave me the ability to take on a lot of workload, which was good. So
then you was at Anderlecht for 2 years, and after the first year, you had like a lot of interest from like teams. And what was the reason that you didn't want to kind of like go?
It was cool again.
Yeah.
So first of all, Anderlecht was a good club to be playing at 17, 18. You travel around the world, but if you don't play, then you don't learn.
Yeah.
And so I was in a good environment for that. I was playing Champions League as well, national team. So at that age, I couldn't have found a better platform really.
Yeah.
But moving forward as well, I didn't want to give up my education, and it was mainly under the impulse of my mother.
Okay.
And I think in hindsight, I'm happy I made those decisions because I'm nearing the later stages of my career now.
Yeah.
And I've got to look forward to another 40, 50 years, and I've got more skills than if I would have given it up.
Yeah. Which is commendable, especially like you said when you give it to the younger players, because football doesn't last forever, And I know that myself. So when you get into, and I was kind of like layaway, it got to around about 30, 31 when I was thinking of I need to start thinking of doing other things rather than just playing football, So that's a great. So then after that you went to Hamburg, and you was there for another 2 years.
Yeah, it was. It's there where I learned the most probably.
Yeah.
I didn't play that much. I had a big injury. Lost my mother as well in the time I was there. I was living on my own for the first time. So a lot coming together at the same time, And it was the first dip in my career.
Yeah.
But I learned so much because the German ways it was pretty ruthless.
Yeah.
And it could have broken me, but the way I react, the way I am as a person, I think it made me a lot stronger. So although I don't think it works for everyone, for me it did wonders, and I came back out of it with so much motivation. On the end of my 2 years in Hamburg, I was so motivated to prove everyone wrong. I had so much in me that I wanted to show, and I was fighting a losing battle already because my injury was a pretty bad one.
Okay.
And a lot of people were already saying he's never going to achieve the level.
Yeah.
So those things motivate me.
Would you say that injury helped you kind of like get to where you are now? Also, just off the field where you're doing like extra work, and that because of like injuries?
Yeah, I think that's the main reason why I've always kind of continued to look for stuff to do outside of football, because you get taught to, a lot of people will tell you, focus on your football.
Yeah.
Or people will tell you this, but the advice is already flawed.
Yeah.
Because they benefit from what you do, and they are scared for their job, so they come and say focus on football, because the reason is they are scared that if you're not, they will lose the job because you don't perform the way you should. But it doesn't mean that they really know what's best for you. And I found that if you have a wider scope of interest, that can also make you better as a player. It can also make you better, because you're able to take on more information, your understanding, maybe you push your understanding of the game a little bit. So it's only whichever way you want to use it. And my key advice is always, put in the hours that you can as a professional footballer, but don't be scared of doing other things outside of it, because there's only a limited amount of time you can actually work physically during a day.
Yeah, no,
we all have our limits.
Yeah, definitely. And then with you having like your business side and your football side, would you still find yourself doing like extra like weight training and that kind of stuff in between there? I mean,
so I prioritize everything I need to do to be a better player. That's my priority. It starts from there, and everything else kind of builds around that. So if I say I have a business interest, or I like to study or learn, it doesn't, it takes the place of playing PlayStation or going to the cinema.
But it doesn't, like me.
But it doesn't take the place of training.
Yeah.
So I build my day around, what do I need to do to become a better footballer?
Yeah.
I come in, I do my weights before training, or pre-activation, or body weight type of exercises. I move on to the pitch. I do what I need to do with the team. If I'm injured and I'm in a different program, then I try and work on as many things as I can at that time.
Yeah.
But once you've reached your limit on that,
then you can start
then you move on to the other things.
And then 2008, you obviously came to Man City. Did you always want to play in the Premier League?
Yeah, I knew the Premier League would be good for me.
Yeah.
I have a way of being on the pitch as well where this league suits me. I always had a lot of trouble with players faking injuries and referees.
One of the tough tackles and that.
Yeah, and referees falling for that, and I always had that crying mentality really never suited me. And when I came to England, it's the first thing that I found that was different, is that everyone you could still find a little bit of that old school part of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
It's protected more than, I know it's not like it used to be, but it's protected more than in other leagues, and that suits me more.
I agree, for sure. And then so when you come to Man City, what's kind of like your goal going forward? Just to try and like win the title, win as many games as possible?
Man City was not the team of today, but I'm never realistic in my ambition. So I started and I said, okay, I want to win the title with City.
Yeah.
The first year we finished 10th, so but you never know, unless you try, you never know how far you'll get. And I was also very lucky that new ownership came in, and a lot of the players that were then brought to this club were incredible players. But just to remain in that team and to fight your way up was still like a very, very difficult and long journey. But yeah, my hope was always to win trophies with City, and I was just very lucky that we were able to do it.
Yeah, and you say it's a great like testament to yourself, especially with like the mentality of new players coming in, new ownership. Like you injuries and all that kind of stuff, and to still be here now like, as the club captain is huge. You know, it's a huge admiration for like you and for other people watching. You know, so it's in that case it's superb. The difference, what would the difference you say to like, because Man City you have so many like great players, and then you have like the international team where you have so many great players, but normally the international level is higher than the club level, whereas here it's kind of like similar. Would you see a difference when you'd play club and country, or would it be similar?
Yeah, the international level, it's a long time since I've seen. I mean, the international level has never been as high as the level at City, to be honest. But a lot doesn't really come through just the quality of players. It's also the way you can train every single day and improve, and so things are faster and things are more, I think, natural when you train with a club. Yeah. And the national team is always, you know, you're just trying to create an understanding. You're trying to find, and that takes a split second away. Would
you say that's more from the mental kind of side?
No, I just think.
Or just for like being together.
Yeah, I just think it's pure hours.
Yeah.
And obviously with the national team you can't select. You know, really with Man City, the players you can select, it's an endless amount of players. You can take the best from every single national team and put them together and create Man City. And any of the top 10 clubs can do that. But with a national team, you've got your geographical boundaries, and you know, so there's always going to be a little bit of a gap in perhaps quality, but we're very lucky with Belgium. We have an unbelievable squad.
We have a lot of great players, definitely. Well, I want to say thank you. Thanks for your time.
Welcome.
Also, congratulations again for winning the title.
Congratulations to you guys. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Much appreciated.
Yes. I'm waiting for the subscription.
We'll give you it for free. I was 6 years old. My mom said, pick a sport, because I got to get out of the house. And I said, I don't know. She said, baseball or soccer. I said, yeah, both, whatever. So.